Gotcha. What is that angle? What is that angle, bro? Can I please stop being blinded from people who are off the screen? I try not to be an asshole. One of the biggest things that I've learned throughout my life is that people only really appreciate my bluntness when it's not directed at them. Because I have a tendency to call out stupidity when it happens. When I see something stupid, I will call it stupid. No matter who is saying it, no matter how much I love or respect them, no matter what, if I see something stupid, I will call it stupid. And if it's one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard, I will call it one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard. And I have been told by people who are not autistic that I can sometimes come across as an arrogant asshole when I do this. However, in the very similar way that I want other people to call me out on my stupidity, I call other people out on my stupidity. If I'm saying something that's legitimately the dumbest fucking thing you've ever heard, I would much rather you tell me that it's the dumbest thing you've ever heard and why it's the dumbest thing you've ever heard than hold that back from me. Because while I might not agree with you that it's the dumbest thing you've ever heard, I'd rather the blunt honesty. But it seems like nobody else really likes that except when I'm directing it at other people. And in that regard, I might lose a fan today, which kind of sucks, but maybe they're not going to take what I'm about to say personally, even though I'm about to personally attack them for however long this video is. I'm going to try not to. I feel like I'm going to try not to, so hopefully it doesn't come across that way. So I released my anniversary event rant last week. When you're seeing this, it'll be last week. For right now, when I'm recording this, it's literally the next day. And I got a comment on that video. I'm gonna read the comment for you before I make my full response. I want you to get the full context of the comment. I'm not gonna stop at any point. I just want you to hear what this person has to say. They say, in my opinion, you're playing the, sorry. In my opinion, you're playing the game the wrong way. Everything you do is min-maxing everything, and that's annoying for you. Have you ever tried being a friendly killer? Have you ever tried role-playing as the killer? Like stepping behind a counter and pretending to serve drinks to the survivors? Have you ever tried going shopping at the convenience store with the survivor? When was the last time you stepped out of your comfort zone and lost a few matches on purpose, just for the fun of it? If these things are a waste of time for you, you are part of the problem you're pointing out. P.S. Why don't you play a killer that forces survivors to deal with a lot of extra objectives? Imagine them having to do 5 gens, remove traps from their heads, or run around looking for a cursed TV, and on top of that, having to serve dishes. I don't know. Work around the problem instead of just complaining about it without finding a solution and applying it. Then they say they love my videos, they learn a lot of technical stuff, but hardly anything about having fun. Okay, so there is so much stupidity in this comment, I don't know where to start. So I'm going to try my best to keep everything coherent because, as you know, I have a tendency to go off topic a little bit, especially when I'm angry. And I shouldn't let this comment anger me as much as it does, but it does anger me. It angers me because this is a comment not made from a genuine point of disagreement or a genuine point of concern or anything like that. This is a comment made from arrogance. It's a comment made from a level of someone feeling like they are superior to me. And if there is one thing I cannot fucking stand, it is being talked down upon with passive-aggressive arrogance. Passive-aggressiveness already irritates me. Passive-aggressive arrogance irritates me already. So I already did a small reply to this comment, but the reason we're replying to this comment in a video is because I think it's important to be a part of a larger discussion surrounding the Dead by Daylight community. So first off, you're playing the game the wrong way. Fuck you. Just because someone is playing a game in a different way than you play the game, it does not mean that they're playing the game in the wrong way. Or not even in a different way that you play the game, in a different way than you think they should play the game. That's the thing that really gets me, right? Because this just reminds me of every single time I've had a survivor personally attack me, come after my looks or my stream numbers, or tell me to off myself, all because I played in a way they didn't like, because I tunneled, or I proxy camped, or I slugged them for 2.5 seconds, or I played a killer that they didn't want to play. This idea that this community has that you shouldn't play this way, you should play my way, otherwise you're playing wrong, is stupid. If you want to throw all of your games, if you want to stand there and nod at the survivors while they do gens in your face, and you want to pretend to do whatever I don't care. I do not care, because the way that I have fun has nothing to do with winning. And that is the core issue. That's one of the core issues of this comment. You assume that I'm not having fun because I'm not winning, when I mentioned in my video on the anniversary event that for the first like 5 or 6 matches, I was murking these teams. I was getting my 3 and 4Ks. I was winning. But if the journey to winning isn't fun, then that's the problem. I don't care about winning or losing, and I never really have unless I'm doing a streak or a challenge or something. I care about the journey to the end of the match. I want the match to be a push and pull of even skill and fairness. If I just come in and ruffle stomp the survivors, I don't find that fun either. I don't find that enjoyable. I want an even push and pull fun match of the minds game. I'm not min-maxing anything. I don't even think you understand what min-maxing means. And no, it's not the quote-unquote min-maxing that's annoying for me. It's the fact that the survivors get to win through existing. They don't win through thought processes, they don't win through strategy, they don't win through any of that. Especially within this event, they win through unbreakable pallets, map-wide syringes, becoming invisible, teleporting across the map where you can barely follow them, being literally untouchable. You can't touch them. That is the problem. That is the issue. That's what's annoying me. It's not that I'm having to try to win. It's that I'm having to try when they aren't. And it's not even, again, about winning. It's about the fact that it's boring. It is fucking boring for the 7th time in a match to just have everybody get healed to full health while I'm chasing them, and that person did nothing to accomplish that. It was their teammates going put dishes on a table. Somebody tried to point out to me the other day, oh, well, at least they're not doing gens. But like I said way back in my fucking pig video, it doesn't matter if they're not doing gens if you can't do anything about them being alive. Now, as far as being the friendly killer, yes, I have. And I didn't have fun. It wasn't enjoyable to me to be the friendly killer, especially not whenever I try it and I get fucking teabagged at the exit gate, told easy and said to uninstall and kill myself when I was a friendly killer. In fact, I even have a video on this channel where I spent like an entire event. I forget which event it was, but I spent like an entire event just farming with survivors, and I still got told to off myself. I still got slurs thrown at me. I still got survivors being pissy at me, because as it turns out, they're never fucking happy. But my question is, why do I have to sacrifice my games? Why do I have to throw my games and let my opponents win to have fun? Why is that the quote-unquote solution that you mentioned? Also, the side objective thing is stupid. You're just suggesting that I play weaker killers who are gonna have a harder time in this event. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Nothing about them having to go get bear traps looking for cursed TVs. It's highlighted. What are you talking about, bro? That's not gonna help anything. That doesn't do anything. All it does is make the match last even longer. So instead of 15-minute matches where I can't down anybody, I'll have 25-minute matches where I can't down anybody. Ooh, sign me the fuck up. God, whoever thought the solution to watching paint dry is watching more paint dry? I'm trying not to be, like, pissed off, but this is just a common sentiment in this community. Whenever killers try to talk about how something is unfair to them, this has been happening for years. This isn't a recent problem, right? Like, whenever the Colubrine eruption meta was around and a lot of killer players, including myself, stood up and said, hey, this isn't fair to survivors, this is boring for them, this is not healthy for them, this needs to change, this needs to be fixed, we weren't like we were trying to help you. And then, but when the same thing is happening to killers, when the same unfair, boring, unintuitive shit is happening to us, all of a sudden we're told we're the problem. This game has turned me into a person I don't really like. And it's kind of one of the reasons why I took a year off, because the longer I'm back, the more tribalistic I'm becoming. And I don't want to be that guy, right? I don't want to be that tribalistic person, because at the end of the day, we're all here together to play a game, to have fun. And here's the thing, right? I don't hate Survivor players. I don't hate or begrudge them for using all of this autopilot shit, or going into the event and just like absolutely abusing the fuck out of this. I don't think there's anything personally wrong with players using the tools given to them to win these games. My complaint is purely with behavior, for ever thinking any of this shit was a good idea to begin with. And to make it clear, I think that there are ways we could have a lot of this stuff work, right? Like the invisibility, if it worked like the Eye of Vecna, where as soon as you're not invisible anymore, Killer Instinct procs, right? And you don't have that. The map-wide heal just needs to disappear. I don't know why that's a thing. If blocked pallets, if unbreakable pallets also blocked pallets so that you couldn't drop them, but the ones that were dropped were unbreakable, that might be something that's pretty cool and has a lot of thought process and initiative and back and forth in it. Or if poisoning a survivor stopped them from eating the morsel. Or if there was an adverse effect. So when they're poisoned, if they try to eat an invisibility or invulnerability or something while they're running away from you, there would be something different. So instead of being invulnerable, they become exposed. Instead of becoming invisible, they're highlighted or something like that. Like, my problem with this event isn't necessarily that survivors have all this broken shit. My problem with this event is that killers got nothing. We didn't get anything. A lot of people are comparing this to like the Twisted Masquerade with remote pallet breaks, remote hooks and everything. And yes, that was a killer-sided event, and that definitely did need to be pulled back a little bit, or at the very least survivors needed to have some cool stuff. But it's not like survivors got nothing in that event. They got some cool things. I think party pallets were really fucking cool and fun to play with as Survivor. I loved party pallets. And in fact, I wouldn't have even been mad if party pallets made a return. As much as I hate pallets, party pallets were pretty sick, right? But I get it, right? We had a killer-sided event, but the solution is not to have a survivor-sided event that is so survivor-sided that killers literally get nothing. They get nothing. You want to talk about how I want to just complain and not find a solution? You wouldn't care if I did. You wouldn't care if my fucking anniversary video was a list of, hey, here's all the problems and here's how I would fix them. You wouldn't give a shit. And I know you wouldn't give a shit because you tacked this sentence on as a very last minute thing, because what you care about is you play Survivor and you think to yourself, wow, all this stuff is really overpowered and I don't want it to change. But you know you can't say that without sounding unreasonable. So your next step is to tell me to throw my games. And that is ridiculous. I have never, ever, ever dealt with a community like the Dead by Daylight one. I have never in my entire life dealt with a community that is so bound determined to have people purposefully throw their games. Killer or Survivor, I don't care. If you are suggesting that the enemy team purposefully throw their games, you are stupid. You are genuinely stupid. You are dumb. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry. I don't care. That is stupid, guys. When I play, dude, at one point, I would play the first half of the month, I'd play Killers. Second half of the month, I'd play Survivor. And I'd run into Killers all the time who were mad that we were, doing generators. It's stupid. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. It's stupid. Look, I'm not trying to be an asshole, okay? But this comment really pissed me off in a special way, because this is every brain dead entitled survivor I've ever met in game inside of my YouTube comment section. This idea that if I do anything to try to win the video game, I am doing something wrong is exactly what the survivors who come after me act like. And to say that I'm part of the problem because I don't want to purposefully throw my games is so asinine. It's a PvP game. I don't care if you think it's a party game. Do you purposefully throw in Mario Party? I don't give a shit. And also, this just dawned on me. I have thrown my games before to try to have fun. I have fucking brought builds that were just complete dog shit because I thought they'd be a good time. I do it all the fucking time, man. So you don't even know me. See, this is the problem. This is another thing I hate. When people who clearly don't know me, they don't know what I'm about, try to tell me what I'm not doing. Literally the day before the video you're commenting on got uploaded, I played like 7 games with my chat with a build that was complete dog shit because I wanted to see if we could get value from it. We ended up not. I wanted to try to do a YouTube video on it, but it didn't happen. The point is that I do that kind of thing all the time. I don't sweat, but if I have to sweat to get even 1 kill, that's a problem. That's a fucking problem. If the other team isn't sweating and I have to, that's an issue that needs to be addressed. And it's fucking stupid to suggest that there's something wrong with me because I want to just play the damn game. I'm going to end this recording before I pop a blood vessel. Thank you to my channel members listed on screen now for all of their additional support. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, missed account codes, and more, please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.